everybody. Welcome into the show. Great to have you with us this Wednesday. I'm Bianca Della Garza.
And I'm John Huddy, in for John Bachman. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see you. And finally, we get to be on set together.
It's going to be a fun few hours.
Absolutely.
Great to have you with us, John.
Likewise. Good to be here.
All right, so our first story, we begin today at noon. It is the Supreme Court ordering Title 42 to remain in place. And it was just late yesterday, the High Court ruling 5-4. What does it mean? Well, the policy will be staying in effect for the next few months, just while the legal challenges play out. The justices have now taken up the case to consider whether 19 states could challenge the end to this policy as desired by President Biden and his administration. The Republican-led states that are fighting it, they argue that lifting this policy would lead to an increase in already record border crossings.
That's right, and all this as President Biden and his family vacations on the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I guess I can't blame them. The Bidens will be in the warmer climate through the new year until January 2nd. The president has been periodically vacationing there on the island since he was vice president. The visit this week is Biden's first, though, as president. Meanwhile, the winter storm continues to have major impacts across the country. Dozens of people have died. Thousands of flights have been canceled and delayed. People are having trouble at this point finding food in some of the hardest hit areas. And down at the southern border, there are 20,000 migrants waiting to enter El Paso. The Texas National Guard placing shipping containers as a border barrier. The Texas Military Department also adding rows of barbed wire and razor fencing. And while everyone was enjoying their Christmas weekend, the White House released the November border numbers, and as expected, they were not good. Illegal border crossings were up 33% from this time last year.
Well, joining us now with some more insight and analysis on our border crisis is Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Chris Cabrera. Sir, great to have you in with us today. Thanks for being here.
Having me.
Okay, so obviously Title 42 won't be lifted. We see President Biden, though, jetting off to the Caribbean. And, you know, at some point, it looks like this may be lifted, however, and this could be maybe just a Band-Aid, albeit I know for your agents here, it is a good move. But your reaction, sir, to the fact that it's been paused, at least for now?
Well, you know, most definitely it is a Band-Aid on a broken leg. And right now is the time that, with the end cut in sight, whether it's weeks or months away, something needs to be done by Congress and by the administration. And I get it, it's the holidays, everybody wants to go on vacation, but when there's work to be done, there's work to be done. Our agents are out there every day. We'd expect the same from our leaders to get out there and find a fix to this problem before it's too late.
We've been hearing a lot about Texas and just showing those pictures in El Paso where people are sleeping outside, and then also barbed wire is what the officials down there have to resort to try and put up some semblance of a wall, Chris. So here we have a humanitarian crisis, and the numbers of gotaways just for El Paso, they are staggering here. I'm worried about the gotaways that you see, and this is just El Paso, folks, 28,550. So while a humanitarian crisis is playing out, we have a national security crisis. Who are these people, and who could they be? We're talking possible, you know, cartel members, terrorists.
Yeah, and you know, those got-away numbers are low. I mean, you think about it, they got away. We don't actually know how many got away, and those are the ones we were able to determine through camera traffic or foot sign. But there's huge areas of the southwest border that are uncovered that we'll never know the true number of folks that got away, because nobody's out there checking on the foot sign and the camera traffic to see what has gotten past us.
You know, I know, sir, you were the Rio Grande Valley, and I'm quite familiar with Roma and the folks that cross there. You know, these are our cartel members who have been doing it for decades. I spoke to one when I was down at the border, said my father did this, and they have no fear. It seems like the agents have just become processing agents here, and they cannot do their job. Tell me about morale. You know, holidays, as you just mentioned, were here, and a lot of them couldn't be with family because they had to deal with this crisis.
Yeah, you know, morale, I've been in 21 years. I've never seen morale this bad, not anywhere close to this bad. It's so far down in the toilet that it's a shame, and it's just getting worse daily. Agents are leaving as soon as they're able to retire. Agents that have only been in a few years are already looking for greener pastures in other agencies, and some are leaving law enforcement altogether because in their eyes it's just not worth it.
Wow. Well, obviously, critical days ahead for the work you do at the borders. We know there could be a surge if and when Title 42 is lifted in the new year. Sir Chris Cabrera, thank you so much for being with us today. We certainly appreciate your time and analysis.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You bet.